Hi everyone, this is my first YouTube video ever, and I just felt like God wanted me to come on here and share my experience that I had, how he told me that my ex-boyfriend was not the one for me. So a little background about me: I grew up Christian, but I never really understood what it meant to fully repent, and I always thought that the void that I had in my heart was because I wasn't with someone. I never really was in a serious relationship until I was 18 years old. So I met my ex-boyfriend in college when I was 18, and we started dating shortly after 6 months. And when we started dating, I thought that he was the one. Like, I thought that I found my life partner. I thought that I was just set for life. And I would always pray to God often. I would always ask him, like, hey, God, is he the one? Is he the one for me? And even though I was living in sin, and to be honest, I had no idea that the way I was living was wrong, God still answered me. And it took me a while to actually like hear and understand his voice and understand if it was him or not. But I remember there was a time when my ex-boyfriend and we got into a fight. And this was about 6 months in the relationship. And then I remember I was there, my best friend was there, and I just heard, your relationship is only gonna last for 2 years. And I remember thinking, like, what is this voice? Like, I've never heard this voice before. I thought it was just my own thoughts. And in that moment, I told my best friend, I said, hey, I'm pretty sure my relationship is only gonna last 2 years. And I remember she said to me, she was like, that's a long time. Like, you guys have only been dating for 6 months. What makes you think that it would be 2 years? And I'm like, I don't know. I just have this feeling. Like, it's like my gut is like telling me. And so I always kept that voice in the back of my mind. Like, I always kept that thought. But I remember thinking, I'm going to prove that voice wrong. I'm going to show it that we're going to last. We're going to last. So I always would keep praying. And I would say, God, like, is he the one? Like, is this who you wanted me to be with? And I always heard right away, no. But then I always hear yes. And that's the thing. The devil will always try and counteract what God tells you. So I was just always in this confusion. So, and that's the thing that we know. The devil is there to kill, steal, and destroy, cause confusion in your life. So if you're at a point with someone, or if you're dating someone, then I would say that this is your confirmation. Listen to that voice that you're hearing, because if you just have this feeling that you're with someone and you know that they're not the one, then you should trust it. So anyways, as I got more into the relationship, I started feeling more uncomfortable. And in that sense, I just felt like there's always someone else for me. So in about 7-8 months in, that's when I really started hearing, he's not the one for you. You need to leave. And I remember thinking, why would God put me in a relationship with someone, especially someone that's like my first year's relationship? Why would he do that? Like, he wouldn't do that. And I just kept that in the back of my mind, and I was like, no, I know he's the one. And then what started happening was I started having dreams. And these dreams were very detailed. I kept having dreams of my ex-boyfriend, and he was with this black woman. And every time I saw him in the dream, he was with this black woman, and he was having such a strong emotional connection with her. And I would always wake up, and I was like, wow, like, that's weird. Like, I've never, ever suspected him to have any sort of connection with anyone else, because him and I were super strong, really good friends first. And so I remember I would always ask him about it. I would say, hey, like, this is weird, but I had this dream last night about you and this black girl being really, really close. He was like, oh, that's crazy. And I was like, yeah. And one thing for sure about him was he was very loyal. You know, he always told me everything. So I thought that was weird. I was like, maybe it's just like the devil trying to put stuff in my mind. I don't know. So I remember I would be sitting there with him, and I would be like, something would just hit me. And I would be like, whoa, hey, I need to ask you something really random. And he'd be like, oh, okay, what is it? And I was just like, hey, are you like talking to someone else? Or are you like hang out with someone else? And he'd be like, no, like, what are you talking about? Like, it's like, I don't know, it just like hit me randomly, like I can't explain it. And we would just laugh about it and move on. And guys, it got even more weird because I kept having this feeling that he was talking to someone else, and I kept feeling like the relationship was only going to last for 2 years. So we're going to fast forward now, and this is about like 27 months into a relationship. So that's about 2 years and 3 months. And I remember thinking, I was like, oh yes, like as soon as we reached that 2 year mark, I remember that voice when I heard back 6 months into my relationship. I was like, yep, you know, I don't even know what that voice was, but we're good, we're solid. And I felt really happy, you know. But then I started, like, we were on his way to his house one day, and we were not in a fight. We were really, really good. And I just remember I was walking with him, and something out of nowhere just hit me. And I know now that was the Holy Spirit, because it was the most beautiful feeling, and I can't describe it. It was just like such an empowering feeling. And I just saw myself with someone else. I was going on dates with this person, and I was really, really excited. And I snapped out of it, and I was thinking, why am I having this sort of like vision of this person when my boyfriend of like 2 years is here with me? And I just shook it off and didn't say anything. I was like, maybe it's just my anxiety about the relationship, because I always did have this anxiety about the relationship. And that's the thing. If you're with someone and you are not peaceful about it, then I really suggest that you pray about it and ask God, and he will give you the confirmation. But yeah, so then I remember just walking to his house, and I was just like thinking, oh, I wonder what that was. And then the next maybe 2 hours, I felt something. And I just had like the moment or feeling of breakup on my mind. And I was thinking, oh wow, like, so I asked him, I said, hey, what would ever happen if you and I like broke up? And he was like, oh, why are you asking this? And I was like, I don't really know why this is on my mind right now, but yeah, maybe you can like tell me. So we just had a conversation saying what would happen if we ever broke up. And we made jokes, and we're like, yeah, like, I don't even know why we're talking about this. We're never gonna break up. And guys, I'm not even joking. The next day, we broke up. We got into a huge fight, and it was like God was just speaking to me throughout that whole relationship and trying to tell me, hey, like, you need to get out of this. It's not for you. And I just didn't want to hear it, you know? And I know some of you are thinking, okay, well, what about the dreams that you're having? Well, we had a lot of issues, and I later found out that after we broke up that the black woman that I was seeing in my dream was actually his best friend of like 5 or 6 years, and they did have like a strong emotional connection. So that relationship really, really opened my eyes for sure. And a lot of people, maybe a lot of you are saying like, okay, wow, but like, why would God let you go through that? And I just want to really explain to you on this point right here. So when I was praying to God all the time, saying like, hey, should I go through with this? I don't know if I should. And also keep in mind, this was not a God relationship or anything. This was very sinful. This was very worldly. And, you know, God respects our choice of free will. And because of that, you know, he would say, hey, like, I want to respect whatever decision you want to do with your life, but just know that I know what's best for you, and that my plans are not going to harm you, but only prosper you. So he would speak through my friends, you guys. Like, I remember maybe like 1 month into a relationship, my sister, she was like, hey, and she met him one time. She was like, hey, I don't think you should date this guy, and here are all the reasons why. And I was like, no, you don't know him. Like, you can't say that at all. And actually, like, that caused a lot of problems between me and my sister, because I was leaning on my own understanding, and I was very convinced that he was the one for me. And then I had other friends from college say, like, hey, Kyra, like, we're really concerned. I don't think you should be dating him because of all these reasons. And I would say, no, you guys, like, you know, when you get into a relationship with someone, like, of course you're gonna spend more time with them, like, don't tell me that. And so I had the dreams, and then I had people telling me, so all of that was definitely God. So if you're having that right now in this moment, just know that this video is for you, and I really hope this is confirmation, because God is speaking to you. And even if you don't hear him like audibly with the voice, just know that he's either speaking to you through some sort of way. It could be from a Facebook post or Instagram or even YouTube. And for those of you who are probably saying like, well, nah, like God doesn't speak to me. No, he's speaking to you. You just need to pray about it and open your eyes. So I really, really hope that this video helps someone, and thanks guys.